Good evening. My name is Michelle Barbieri, and I am the lead of the NOAA Hawaiian Monk Seal Research Program. I'm also a veterinarian, and what I'm here to talk to you about tonight is the causes of death that we are detecting in Maine Hawaiian Islands monk seals. So we're going to be examining whether or not survival of monk seals here in the Maine Hawaiian Islands is threatened or not.
A lot of those big threats to seals are things that we primarily see in the northwestern Hawaiian Islands. But now that we're seeing more and more seals in the Maine Hawaiian Islands, and in fact, this part of the chain now comprises 20% of the entire species, we're starting to pay more and more attention about the threats that seals are facing here and how we need to plan for the future in order to manage those threats. So this map shows the numbers of seals identified on each of the Maine Hawaiian Islands in 2018. We're still in 2019, so I don't have those numbers for you yet. And you'll see that there are more and more seals towards the northwestern end of the Maine Hawaiian Islands as well. And we know that seals don't just stay on one particular island their whole life. About 10% of seals will move around. We even have seals from the farthest northwestern Hawaiian Island all the way down here in the Maines. So they do move around to some extent, but they're not all moving all over the place all the time. So we collect samples from every single organ of the seal that we can. Of course, this is again still dependent on carcass condition. So sometimes you don't get a whole lot of information, sometimes you do. It's quite variable. But that is always the gold standard. So that's where every seal that is in suitable condition that comes to us has these samples taken. And then we also freeze samples for other analyses that pathology report or histopathology report might guide us towards. And these don't happen systematically in exactly the same way for every single case because we try to make judicious decisions on expending money and things like that on those diagnostics, specifically with anthropogenic trauma and anthropogenic drowning as the two most important ones. And removing the disease causes of death would make the second biggest improvement on population growth. And we know that toxoplasmosis made up the vast majority of those cases. So that is the one that would largely be responsible for that improvement. And here's the punchline, thank you. One could argue, and we really wrestled with this when we were going through all of these, and we decided that it would be a good discussion point if we didn't lump them all in, because if we had lumped it all in, then it would have been we wouldn't have been as able to emphasize it, but it is totally reasonable to argue that toxoplasmosis is an anthropogenic cause of death. We know that even though cats are the definitive parasite, they are certainly not intentionally trying to kill wildlife. So cumulatively, removing causes of death from anthropogenic sources, including toxoplasmosis, would have the greatest positive effect